Good morning. Welcome to Presence of Light with charlierivermanbergeron. Once again, it's a joy in my life to be here and speak to you on humanity healing as part of this worldwide group of collective souls who are seeking their divine nature and how to express that in the world as we move through these amazing, powerful times. Good morning, Lisa. It's good to see you. Blessings. Hope your holidays were enjoyable. I know that you have a lot on your plate to deal with, so bless you. Good morning, Rachel. Good morning, Charlie. Pleasure to see you all here. This is the last talk for 2018. It's been a joyous year for me to be part of this and each week deepen my own relationship with myself as I prepare to talk to each of you. So this morning, the message really is one of trust. The 2019 is now upon us. Whether it is physically by date or not is irrelevant. We've passed through the holidays of light. We're in the so-called 12 days of Christmas. We're in days of reflection coming into January. And it's really a time where we need to prepare. Prepare ye the way is sort of the saying. What are we preparing ourselves for? Well, I think 2019 is going to be a very interesting year. This morning, when I awoke, I was filled with the thought of how am I going to present myself in 2019? And as I've been leading up to this talk this morning, it's been questionable. I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to present myself in 2019. I know that a lot has been released from me in this past year. I know that the work that I've done within my own heart has brought me to a clearer space where I may not know what I'm doing all the time, but I know that I have a divine purpose, and that as long as I trust and listen, I will be guided in appropriately the right manner. And that it's when I think from my own mind of how I should do things, or I listen to other people who say, oh no, you should do this and you should do that. And many of them are well-meaning, but they have a personally vested interest in what I do. So therefore, their thoughts and their well wishes are tainted to reflect what they would like me to do or what they might like to see me do. And I had this conversation recently, and the question was, why don't you listen to me? And my answer was, I do listen to you. But just because I listen to you doesn't mean I have to do everything you say. You're a beautiful friend and a beautiful soul, but you are not one of my true spirit guides. So that was the message this morning. And so today is the 28th of 2018, and today is the 6th. And it's funny how numerology has been playing in my talks each week, as that's where when I came back from my death, I was immediately drawn to numerology. And that was the first thing I did, was I would do numerology charts for people. I haven't done them in years, and I've since lost a lot of the wisdom of numerology, so I have to look it up like many of you do. But the interesting thing is this day is representing a 6. And the meaning of that is it's energy of service, harmony between the macrocosms and microcosms, and balance between helping and interfering. And so as we go into 2019, this is where we need to focus, is on how are we going to be of service, and how are we going to be in a balanced service, a service where we're equal on all our actions. Because in the world that's playing out right now, the distortion is immense. And I believe it's been intended that way to wake us up, to make us realize that each one of us, have a responsibility, not only to ourselves and our families and each other, but to the whole planet, to all of life on this planet. And we need to start deepening that relationship again and come back into balance, because we've really distorted the balance of the planet. And it doesn't matter how you look at it, it's a distortion. And distortion creates more chaos, and et cetera, et cetera. We find ourselves suffering. And most of our suffering becomes self-abusive. And as we become self-abusive, we abuse others. And so this whole cycle needs to really be looked at and ended. It doesn't serve any higher purpose for any of us to continue to suffer and create suffering. So now with that, the question for you and myself is, what are we going to do, and how are we going to express that in 2019? How are each of you, Katie Rose says intention, and I'm being able to scroll down this morning. I've got a few extra gadgets here of my iPad with my notes, and I'm again stepping into a new me of how am I going to do these talk shows and not be so distracted by what I have to say. Yes, distortion has been immense in 2018. And so this is where we are. The question was, how are we going to express our energy of service? And what does service mean to us? Or what does service mean to you, if I were to ask you? And what does harmony and balance mean to you? And as you move into this next year, that's what I suggest for myself and others, is to really question those things. What do they mean to me? And realize that as we do unto ourselves, we're at the same time doing unto others. And the saying is, do unto others as you would have done unto you. It goes both ways. And many times we've tried to do for others, and we've been slapped in the face, or we've been rejected, or we thought we were doing the right thing, and then come to realize that, wow, that was like a big mistake. And we realize that in that process, we were denying ourselves. And so to be of service, firstly, comes to be of service to ourselves. How can we serve others if we're not serving ourselves? And that doesn't mean like sitting down to a table and serving yourself a lot of food. What it means is, who are we? And what is it that we want to experience in life? And how do we want to experience life? I don't think that there are many people on this planet who would say, oh, I want to wake up every day and feel pain and suffering. Okay, and so I'm sure there are a few, and I pray for them, because I know that's not the way of living. We're not here to just endure pain and suffering. We're here to enjoy fellowship and compassion and understanding and relationship with ourselves and with our higher self, our divine self. Carrie's saying, and I'm trying to get this up, and it's not working. Okay, so Carrie said something about rights. Yes, human rights, and not forgetting our rights as human. Thank you for that. And thank you, each of you, for honoring that in yourself. So we all have these ups and downs. We all have these uncertainties, and doesn't matter where we live around the world. We just need to have a little bit more, a little deeper reflection than usual. So as we go into the new year, let's go with an era of reflection and deepening our relationships with ourselves. That's not being selfish. That's being self-fulfilling. I call it self-full. And it doesn't mean full of self either, because we know what that means. But it's just honoring ourselves and trusting ourselves. And so that was the thing about trust. Who do we trust? You know, we have to trust ourselves. And even more so, trust those spiritual guides, whether we worship them as a creator or we look at them as friends or family that are helping us and guiding us. We need to listen deeper. We need to listen more clearly. We need to carve out space and time out of our busy lives, be it through meditation or be it through a walk in nature. Communing in nature is really a beautiful form of meditation. If you show up every day at the same time somewhere in your neighborhood, in the woods, everything in that area will begin to accept you as part of that environment. That's the laws of nature, because you're showing up, you're present. This is what we need to do for ourselves as well, is become present for ourselves. So this trusting, it was an affirmation. I pulled a card this morning, and the card was trust. Again, this is how I do my shows. And it had some affirmations, and I sort of reworded them and put them in my own words. So I have the word trust being a powerful message for us in 2019 is to really deeply trust on so many different levels. And over the year, we will probably I'll discuss those levels. But trust. To rely on Source to guide us with love and wisdom. To know we can trust that guidance. To open our hearts and reach out to receive that guidance and wisdom. And to take what is given to us and apply it in our journey back into oneness. And so, stop, look, and listen. You know, the little child thing, stop, look, and listen. This is what we need to do. Stop, look, and listen. Honor ourselves and trust. Trust that we do know the way out of this. We do know the way around this. We know the way, and we know it better than anyone else. And it doesn't mean that we cram it down somebody's throat, but we learn to practice it in our daily walks. And this is the personal journey, is to practice what we preach, not just to preach, but to practice it and really deepen our relationship with honoring that wisdom and that we're bringing through. It does wonders for me to get on here and talk to everybody. But if I don't practice that in my own life, there's no purpose. We are, each one of us, here on purpose. And it's our journey to define that purpose, not somebody outside of us. As much as they may love us, as much as they may see our attributes and our faults, this is our journey. We are sovereign beings of light and love. And we're here to express that. And so that's what we're really, I think, going to open into in 2019. Katie Rose wrote, cannot serve if your cup is empty. Self-care, self-love. Yes, and it is contagious. Smiles are contagious. Yes, they are. Smiles, hugs, acts of gratitude, acts of respect. It doesn't take a whole lot to really make a difference in somebody's day. We don't know what anybody is experiencing. And yet we'll meet them in the market, and we'll meet them in the sort of the checkout aisle. And we just don't know what they've been through. But isn't it much nicer if we offer them a smile, even if they don't smile back? We offer it to them. And we don't take it as, oh, they didn't smile at me, so they're nasty. I'm not going to talk to them. And say, I don't know what your problem is, but I know that because you can't smile back to me, something's hurting within you. And I hope it gets better. And you don't say that out loud, but you say it from your heart. And just send them that love and that energy. And as each one of us do that in our walk, we realize that we're actually doing it to ourselves, because in that moment, we're reminding ourselves that, yeah, gee, this happened to me just 10 minutes ago, or that happened to me yesterday. And we're actually, when we offer somebody kindness or love or attention, in that moment, that same instant, we're offering it to ourselves. So when we deny somebody our smile and our affection, in the same moment, we're denying it to ourselves. We're the ones who are shutting it down. So 2019 is about opening up, trusting. Yes, we're going to get hurt. Yes, we're going to get dirty looks, or we're going to get snide remarks. That's going to happen on any given day. Don't let it stop you. Do not let it stop you. You are here to shine, and to shine brilliantly. And no one can tell you how to do that, because you are unique. You're a unique divine expression. And that's basically the truth and the trust that we have to have in ourselves in this coming 2019. So I covered what I wrote here. It just said it was 2019, a year of trusting and having faith. And I next went on and I pulled a card about denial. And I said, oh my goodness, this is crazy. Denial. What are we denying? And how are we denying so much as we move through our weekly and daily experiences? Probably the worst thing, or the most devastating thing we deny, is who we truly are. That we are these beautiful beings that here on earth we call ourselves humans. But in other dimensions of ourselves, humans just doesn't cut it. And we're reminded that we're more than that. And so it's our journey to find out, what is that more? How do we do that? Well, we have to create some space in our lives. And we have to be more like animals and birds in a lot of respects, and work together with each other. I was reminded of flocks of birds when they fly, and they fly in groups, and we gather in groups, and then somebody leads, and then when that one gets tired, drops back, and another bird moves up and leads. And so too should we do that. It doesn't mean we have to lead all the time, and it doesn't mean we have to be the big show host, but take that opportunity sometimes to say, hey, my brothers and sisters, my group, my family, they're tired. I'll take the lead. I'll help us. I'll guide us to where we're going. And we realize that as we do that, we're only doing it for a small period of time, and it's not so overwhelming. And we develop this sense of community and co-creation, which is the way we're supposed to be living. And so we deepen our relationship not only with ourselves and trust ourselves that, hey, I can lead. No, I don't want to lead the whole trip, but I can lead for 6 hours. I can lead for 6 days. I can lead and know that it's not all my responsibility. It's like these talks I have here and all of the things that I do in my life right now. They're momentary. When I look at them as this group, I get overwhelmed. I say, I can't do this. This is just too much. But when I break them down into the individual moments, I realize, oh, I'm going to lead in this water group today. And then I'm going to fall back. And then I'm going to lead in this area over here. Then I fall back. I don't always have to be on point. And in that way, we respect ourselves, and we don't put ourselves on that pedestal or that point that says, I have to show up. Everything relies on me. We need to administer care and concern for ourselves as we step into this position of trust, because we are migrating. We're migrating into evolutionary positions that have never been experienced by humans before. It doesn't matter how we understand them. It doesn't matter if we understand them. But each one of us are feeling it for sure. Without question, we are feeling it. And so this is, again, coming back as we look towards 2019. It's a window that we're looking at, and we can go into fear and go into worry, or we can say, no, I'm going to take a few moments in the beginning of 2019 to see where I fit, to see what doesn't work anymore, and honor what doesn't work anymore and say, thank you. You worked so well for so long, but I've outlived your purpose. And I'm moving on. It doesn't make what we did before any less than what it was. It's like old pants. They don't fit anymore. Or we don't feel comfortable in them anymore. These bodies that we're in, we don't feel comfortable in them anymore. Well, who is this we? This is the we that I gather here and talk to. It isn't us, and it isn't this body, it isn't this physical, it's the spiritual, it's the divine sense of conscious awareness. And that's what 2019 is about, is bringing forth that divine, that spiritual conscious awareness and putting it into action and co-creating together and finding others that you can co-create with. And the ones you can't co-create with or that don't understand you, the best thing we can do is bless them, try to understand they're not ready for this, and not try to browbeat them into seeing the world from our perspective, but to live our lives and let them watch on the sidelines, even if they're making fun of us, even if they're throwing banana skins at us, whatever they're doing, that's their stuff. Keep going. Keep doing what you're doing. And eventually, like all naughty little children, they'll say, hey, that person looks like they're having too much fun. And they'll join us. But if we stand and fight them, all we do is give them more ammunition to throw back at us. So this is 2019, trusting, listening for guidance, creating space. And that's, you know, what I was thinking about. We need to create space. So I have a few minutes left here. Let's see if I can get some. Okay. Thank you for your comments on the side. And I'm going to post something that I'm going to read to you now, and hopefully this works. Okay, so that did work, and I'm going to hit enter. So this, as we move into space and time of the future, I wrote this morning in preparation for this. In order to trust, we must be in the moment. The word trust refers to relying on someone or something for future action. The dictionary defines trust as having a confident dependence on the character, ability, strength, or truth of someone or something. And I'm here to tell you and myself that it is us that will carry us through. And we have to trust ourselves. And so I wrote this sort of affirmation. I just posted it in the sideline for you to copy, and hopefully that worked. I'm learning this stuff. I didn't say I was an expert, did I? No. So here's how it reads. Take a deep breath. Relax and know that in that breath, all life exists. And I will speak this to you. In the next year of my life, may I make each moment one of trust. Let me allow space between my thoughts, through which all answers to my questions may arise. In the next year of my life, I will withhold my quick judgment of all actions which may appear before me, so that I may listen to a more truthful aspect of myself. In the next year of my life, I will seek others who are seeking out trust from within the depths of their hearts, rather than the distorted memory of their minds. And in the next year as well, may I deepen my relationship with my true self, knowing that I cannot understand it from a place of lack of trust. I thank you all for being here with me, and I love these conversations and can't wait to be back next year and sharing in a whole new world for each of us. And with that, I'm complete. And thank you all for your comments in the side and your sharing. And may your new year unfold with blessings of peace, light, and love. I love you. I thank you. I respect you. I am you. You guys have a great week. Enjoy life. Be present and trust. It's the key to the future. Bye-bye. Happy New Year, wherever you are around the world. It's only a moment in time, but it's the next next year of your life. So let's think about how we're going to do that. Bye-bye.